Okay, so we're all hearing about how AI is getting smarter, right? But today we're going to talk about something a little different, maybe even more important. It's not just that AI is getting smarter, it's getting smarter about how it works. We're seeing this massive shift from AI as a simple tool to AI as a genuine teammate. And this isn't science fiction, it's happening right now. So let's dive in. I want you to think about this for a second. What if AI could actually think for itself? I don't just mean spitting out answers. I mean, what if it could understand a goal you give it, come up with its own plan to achieve it, and then adapt that plan when things go wrong? This single question is what's driving the entire next generation of AI. And honestly, it changes absolutely everything. So, what we're really seeing in 2024 is this incredible evolution. AI is moving past being just a simple executor, something that just does exactly what you tell it to. It's becoming a sophisticated reasoner. It's going from a tool to a collaborator that can actually figure out how to get things done all by itself. Okay, so to really get a grip on where this is all headed, we have to take a quick look back at where we've been. Let's start with the kind of AI that most of us are used to, and talk about why, frankly, it's starting to hit a wall. Yeah, this is what we call a monolithic AI. The best way to picture it is like a brilliant brain in a jar. It's super smart, right? It knows a ton about all the stuff it was trained on. But that's it. It's totally sealed off from the real world. It has no idea what happened yesterday. It can't look at your company's internal data, nothing. It's stuck in the past. And that limitation creates this really clear contrast between yesterday's AI and today's. We are moving away from those static, self-contained models and into something called compound systems. And the big difference here is that these new systems aren't just about what they know, they're about what they can do. They're built around a process designed to be dynamic and plugged into the outside world. Which brings us to this really crucial bridge in the evolutionary story, compound AI. This is the big idea that basically gave that brain in a jar a set of eyes and ears. It's how we let it peek outside and see what's actually going on. See, a compound system isn't just one giant AI brain. It's more like an orchestra, with different parts playing together. You've got your main model, the LLM, as the star performer, but it's being directed by human-written rules, the programmatic logic. And then it has its instruments, external tools like databases and APIs that it can play. It can even have verifiers, kind of like fact-checkers, to make sure it's on the right track. It's really AI as a complete system, not just a single model. Okay, let's make this super concrete with an example. Imagine you ask, hey, how many vacation days do I have left? Now, that brain in a jar model, it has no clue. But a compound system, it knows exactly what to do. It follows a little script we wrote for it. Step 1, go look up my data in the HR database. Step 2, hand that data to the LLM. Step 3, the LLM crafts a perfect, personalized answer just for me. It's incredibly smart, but, and this is key, it's following a very specific pre-written recipe. But here's the catch. That rigidity, it's also its biggest weakness. The system is amazing at the one thing it was programmed to do, look up vacation days. But what if you ask a follow-up, like, and what's the weather forecast for my trip? Boom, the system breaks. Why? Because nobody wrote a rule for that. The human-coded logic just didn't see that question coming. And that exact limitation is what sets the stage for the next giant leap. And this brings us to the main event, the really exciting part, Agentic AI. This is where things get wild. It's the moment we basically hand the leash over to the AI and let it decide which path to take to get the job done. There's a quote that just nails this idea perfectly. The core leap is replacing human-defined control logic with machine-directed reasoning. Think about that. We are literally swapping out our rigid, step-by-step instructions for the AI's own ability to think and plan. We stop telling it how to do something. Instead, we just give it a goal, hand it a toolbox, and say, you figure it out. A really great way to get this is to think about how our own brains work. Programmatic systems are like our think fast mode. It's our intuition, our gut reactions. They're super quick, they're reliable, they just follow the steps they already know. But agentic systems, they think slow. This is our deliberate, conscious reasoning. They stop, they make a plan, they weigh the options, and they change course if needed. It's literally the difference between a reflex and real reflection.
So what's actually going on under the hood? How does an AI agent even work? Well, it really boils down to three key abilities, three cognitive functions that all work together in a powerful loop.
First up, you have reasoning. This is the brain of the whole operation. The LLM stops being just a text generator and becomes a strategist. It can look at a big, messy problem and go, okay, how do I break this down into smaller pieces I can actually solve? Okay, once the brain has a plan, the agent needs to act. So if reasoning is the brain, this part is the hands. The brain might decide, I need to know the weather, or I need to run this calculation. The agent then uses its tools, calling an API, querying a database, firing up a calculator to actually go out and do stuff in the world. And the third piece, which is so important, is memory. This is the part that transforms the agent from just a one-shot tool into a real collaborator. It can remember your last conversation, remember what worked and what didn't, and even remember who you are. This is what gives it context and allows it to learn and get better over time. And these three things, reasoning, acting, and memory, they don't just happen once. They work together in this powerful continuous loop. It's a framework called REACT, which stands for, you guessed it, reason and act. It's this constant cycle of thinking, then doing, then looking at what happened, and then thinking again. Let's put that loop into action with our vacation example. Let's say you ask a more complex question. How much sunscreen should I pack for my trip? An agent would first reason. To answer that, I need to know their vacation dates and the weather forecast. Then it would act. It queries the calendar and a weather API. It gets the results, and then it reasons again. Okay, it's going to be sunny for 5 days. Now I need to find the recommended amount of sunscreen per day. So it acts again, maybe doing a web search. Finally, it takes all that information and reasons one last time to pull it all together into a single helpful answer. You see that loop? Think, act, think, act. It's a totally dynamic process. Now look, this kind of autonomy is obviously incredibly powerful, but it's not a magic bullet for every single problem. And it actually introduces a really important strategic trade-off that we need to get our heads around. So here's the trade-off, laid out plain and simple. On one hand, you have a programmatic system. It gives you super high precision. Think about that vacation day lookup. You need that to be 100% right every single time. But its flexibility is low. On the other hand, you have an agentic system. Its big strength is high flexibility. It's perfect for those broad, complex problems like planning a trip. But its precision can be variable and its path isn't always predictable. So it's not about which one is better, it's about picking the right tool for the job. And really, the future isn't going to be one or the other. It's not an either-or choice. It's going to be about building smart, hybrid systems that know when to be precise and when to be flexible. You can imagine entire ecosystems of agents working together. You'll have your super reliable programmatic agents for the simple stuff and your creative agentic problem solvers for the complex challenges, all collaborating just like a great human team.
So if there's one big thing to take away from all of this, it's that we are watching our relationship with technology change in a fundamental way. We're going from AI as a tool to AI as a collaborator. We're moving from giving it step-by-step commands to just giving it a goal and supervising. This is the shift from simple automation to real, honest-to-goodness autonomy. And that leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. If AI is evolving from an operator that we command into a collaborator that we work with, what does that make us? What is our role in this new world? What does it mean to manage a team of not just people, but of autonomous AI agents? That's the new reality we're all stepping into. Thanks for tuning in.